Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. Yes, this video is recorded literally 30 seconds or less after the Obi-Wan video. So yeah, and I've basically just changed my top just so I don't look like a skank. But yeah, hello, welcome back to movie recommendations. This one's gonna be bit of a different one. I think last time I had like 5 films, but this one it's literally just one film basically. But because there's only one film, I'm also going to add some TV shows. So this is movie and TV show recommendation. However, to be fair, at this point you've probably seen everything I'm gonna recommend, because with the dawn of streaming services and spending hours watching television every night and having 7, 8, whatever there is, different methods to watch TV and film, it's just never ending access. So the first film I want to talk about is called The Devil All the Time. It's on Netflix and it stars Tom Holland and Robert Pattinson. Weird cast, I know. Obviously, struck me about this film is Tom Holland, because Tom Holland is sort of seen as more of a lighter actor, if that makes sense. Like he does more lighter roles. You know, he's like a young, bubbly kind of bloke in his early 20s. He's about my age, a bit younger, and he was Spider-Man and Nathan Drake. So we're kind of just used to him as like a kind of like a light-hearted sort of corny action hero in Nathan Drake, or like a Marvel superhero. So you know what I mean? So he always kind of plays sort of a kid, and it was really interesting. And I think this film has kind of established his acting chops, if you will. Don't get me wrong, he's amazing as Spider-Man, and he does pull off some fantastic emotional scenes in those 3 films, but I think this is sort of the film where he really was playing someone different to himself, because I always feel like Spider-Man and Tom Holland are kind of like very similar people in real life. They're kind of quite bubbly, light-hearted, goofy, bit quirky, bit dorky, and I think he pulls it off well because he does kind of have that personality in real life. Nothing wrong with that, of course. He's amazing. But I think this is the film where he really sort of pulled out of his zone, if you will, and sort of played someone very, very different to who he actually is. And I really liked that. I mean, this film is disturbing as shit. Like, it is creepy as fuck. So that was kind of interesting to kind of see, because this is a really weird film. It's basically set in this little sort of backwater, sort of villagey country town in America. Sort of, I would say probably the 60s, and basically it's kind of about nothing in a way. It kind of isn't about just one character and their journey. It's about lots of different people and how across the film they all sort of cross paths. So it's kind of like Pulp Fiction a little bit, where it doesn't really have a main character. It's kind of just lots of different people who are loosely sort of connected to each other, but don't really realize at the time. And then it turns out that their sort of arcs are all intertwined, and they all sort of come in together. So it's a really interesting sort of narrative arc, which I think is really cool. And it's sort of about the decay of the human condition, really. It's kind of similar to True Detective, which is a video I really need to make. It's kind of about the decay of people, the corruption of people, and it's represented really well with this just shithole of a town, basically. I mean, the people in this town are degrading, and so is this town. So it's kind of like they're so corrupted, even the environment is blending into them, which I think is really, really cool. A really, really interesting sort of concept. But yeah, I'm not really going to go into detail about all these characters and their arcs. I'll just let you watch them. But it's not only about the corruption of people, but it's also about the corruption of religion, and how religion has allowed these people to abuse powers and in turn abuse people. And obviously it's called the devil all the time because everywhere and everyone seems to be influenced by the devil. So it's kind of very, very religiously motivated. It's sort of very culty. And yeah, it's a really cool concept, but it's really, really difficult to describe without spoiling it. So it's kind of just something you're gonna have to watch. Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, moving on to TV shows. This new TV show, I actually discovered it about a year ago. It's called Love, War and Robots. It's on Netflix, and this is probably the most creative thing I've seen in a long time. Basically, Netflix, or the people who produced this show, basically reached out to aspiring writers, aspiring screenwriters, and they basically said, can you write an episode TV show length storyline, and the only thing we're going to give you is love, war and robots. So you can make it whatever you want, you have total free reign, but you have to make the show has to have the three themes of love, war and robots. And they just sent them out, and obviously these people wrote their scripts and sent them back, and the TV show, the series, is basically the best 10 that they voted for, that the producers thought were the best, and then they just animated that and then just made it a TV show. And it's really, really, really cool, and there's some really, really creative ideas there, and I wish more people would do that, more producers would do that, because it's really, really difficult to get into the film industry or the TV industry without having very, very deep rooted connections or being super, super talented. And so it's kind of nice, and a lot of talent is unrecognized because it's so saturated. And so I wish more people would do that, and I think that was their sort of intention, was to sort of just give people a shout out, and give people a credit. And I think it's really, really cool. It's a really, really good concept. So yeah, Love, War and Robots. And the animation style is sort of changes in each story, which is also really, really cool. So it's just full of creativity, and yeah, the animation is absolutely gorgeous. So but yeah, so that would be the end of that video. I know my movie and TV show recommendations are a little out there. Obviously I'm trying to basically talk about films and TV shows that aren't that well known, that aren't that sort of out there. They're usually the best, and I think it's nice for them to sort of get a bit of attention, because there's no point in me making a video about, oh, you should watch Peaky Blinders, because everyone in this under the age of 30 in this country has probably watched Peaky Blinders. It's the same thing with, oh, you should watch Breaking Bad. Everyone's seen Breaking Bad, everyone's seen Dexter. So yeah. So a lot of my, oh, I'm gonna talk about how you should watch The Godfather, everyone's seen the fucking Godfather. So So yeah, I like to pick sort of films that I've watched that are a little bit more sort of out there, a little bit more, unrecognized. Anyway, guys, that is it. I hope you are well. And yeah, peace.